Oh, all right. So I have to ask. So I woke up and unfortunately I looked at the League of Legends subreddit, and there is a very hot take that
Come on.
that LS had that
I saw
NA
this one,
teams
yeah.
are canceling scrims, which is knowing the coaching staff of the three teams that are there, it seems implausible to me that this is happening. So do you have any insight into this, because it does seem kind of ridiculous?
I mean, we did play a lot of so there are two brackets in terms of scrims at Worlds right now. We're in the other bracket, the lower bracket, what I would call, where like the best teams for scrim were like LNG, Hanwha, one scrim sud versus down one, and then you have like all the other worst teams, not the best teams.
Yeah. The Westerners, basically.
Yeah, like Mad Lions, TL, C9, and the NA teams haven't been canceling scrims versus us, and we haven't been canceling scrims at all versus anyone. So I don't know much about that. Sort of like maybe it's happening for like when they scrim the other Asian teams.
Yes.
But it wasn't happening to us. But I can pretty much tell that everyone here at Worlds is pretty mental boom. Like we're one of the very few teams that is not mental boom right now.
Interesting. Why?
I assume they get smashed.
I guess the pressure they're getting smashed. They don't like Iceland. They don't like the weather here. That's what I heard. Like food is horrible here and stuff like that. So it all adds up into like just mental boom, and they just lose it. So it's entirely possible that it's happening to NA teams when they're playing the Asian teams, the good ones.
Here's my take, Monty. Let's just think of some of the background here. So LS is not an entirely independent actor in this regard. He literally works for T1. And who does his mate Nemesis work for? Gen G. So those two teams are at Worlds right now. I could imagine the information was factual. Like, for example, maybe there's a world where a Team Liquid or a Cloud9 plays like 2 games in the scrim set against Gen G. T1 gets bodied in 2 games and goes, one of us is feeling ill. Well, I think actually we're gonna have a long review session instead of game. I could believe that's happening. And then he's taken that, which is accurate, and just said like that's what he's hearing. It doesn't necessarily. Obviously, there's a 30-second clip in it. No one really knows what the full context or all it was. I could believe both things could be true. I also think as well, let's be real, even if literally 100 Thieves is cancelling all their scrims, it's almost impossible for Ace to say that right now. I'm just going to say you have to put that into the equation.
No.
I'm just saying.
I just know the mentalities of these teams, and like it just seems inconceivable with the coaching staff that all of these teams have. Like the only team I could see maybe doing that would be Team Liquid, but Cloud9, like they always play through. I've never heard of them like randomly.
Which coaches talk. I mean, to be fair, Max Waldo isn't a disciple of LS, so maybe he goes like taps him on the shoulder. Fudge is like, we're only 5 minutes in. He goes, game's lost. Just go next already. He's like, you saw the draft. We lost B3.
It's over.
Yeah, exactly. We totally misdrafted that. So just cancel the game politely. We'll go next. Like,
all right. So you said something interesting.
That was a joke. So I don't know Max Waldo.
You're coming off a scrim block right now. Thank you for joining us after a long day. But you said your mental condition is very good. What is keeping 100 Thieves' mental condition pristine? Like, what are you guys doing? What's been effective when you go into these scrims, and how are you in better shape, in your opinion, than these other teams that you say are boom already?
We had a good talk about it in our mental state. That was A. B, we're underdogs in our group. We didn't get like the easiest group. Honestly, Group C and Group D is much more like easier than Group B for us, and Group A, because Group A and B for us, in our opinion, it's much more harder. So we're underdogs as well. That helps the mentality. Like you're here to learn. You can only surprise. And then overall, we've been having really good scrims, even though like every single team that has been on Worlds has been scrimming for long, like 2+ weeks longer than us, because we had visa issues with Closer. Some teams, like the Asian teams, were scrimming like 4 more weeks than us, right? So that might be like, we didn't scrim that long. That might be like the mental edge as well. Like you're not burnout, or you're not like, if you scrim for 4 weeks, triple scrim blocks every day, then you're kind of more prone to mental boom, you know. So yeah, we've been scrimming since 26. Yeah, 27. So about like 13 days, which is honestly not much, you know. And I wish we would be able to scrim more. Because I feel like we're like the 70, let's say tops like 70-80% of what we were at playoffs in NA, and we 3-0 TL and 3-1 C9. And finally, we've been scrimming the NA teams again and the EU teams, and okay, NA is doomed. I just have to say, NA is doomed because there's no way that we like us with 13 days of scrims and playing this way can just have no issues versus everyone else in NA, you know. So,
Yikes.
Yeah. Yikes.
I mean, I would expect you, obviously, being the reigning number 1 seed, the champions of LCS, to be doing better than the other NA teams. So that's not that's expected. I'm curious for you guys, what happened between the time that 100 Thieves was at the end of the season where you guys were looking a little bit weaker, and then you come in and you kind of just run through everybody in playoffs. People, including myself, may have expected like EG to take that first win against you guys because they were coming in a little bit hotter. What did you do between the end of the season and the start of your playoffs that really improved the team, and how did you fix it to get to such a relatively easy victory?
Yeah, so at the end of before playoffs, at the end of the regular split or the season, we were basically really fucking bad. Like we were shit. And EG was pretty good. They were on the uprise, and we got lucky, I would say, to have the option that we won best of 5 versus them, and have 11 days of just practice. And in those 11 days, I have to say that me and Reaper, I felt like we did incredible job with the team, where we would be watching a lot of clips, we would be teaching the players what is wrong. We had very good understanding of what is wrong with us as a team and what needs to be fixed. And that was, you know, like our macro and team fighting. And both of the topics were we fixed them to a degree where it gave us another time that we would win the next best of 5, and we would have another one day that actually, like when we won versus C9, we would still not be playing as well as we were hoping to, but then we would go back to the office, spend 3 hours in the office after C9, talk about the game, show the players like what is wrong, what needs to be fixed, and then the next day the team played insanely well, like incredible well. Everything we wanted from them and what we were trying to teach them, they were able to do, and that showed in 3-0 versus TL and just giga stomp, you know. So
in a world, because you alluded to it there in your answer, in a world where EG wins the 5th game of that upper bracket match and you go straight to the lower bracket and you start playing all those days, it might have been a different qualification. Maybe you don't make it, or it would have been 3rd, or what do you think?
I believe so. It is my opinion though, but I do believe so. That it would be completely different for us, since we wouldn't have that much time to scrim and focus on ourselves, because we would have to focus on like others, you know, sort of. But who knows? Who knows what would happen?
Yeah, of course.
And then, you know, the players learning super fast was very nice to have. Very good rosters for that, you know.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.